I would have wouldn't have minded them having an L Kelly somewhere in my kid's name. But at the time, I thought it was a bit pretentious. And look, 53106 is the text line, or you can WhatsApp us this morning 087 1400 106. Let us know, how do you feel about name changing when you get married?
Now, moving on, the Minister for Justice, Simon Harris, has called on all parties to vote for the renewal of the Special Criminal Court following the Regency trial verdict earlier this week. Liam Herrick, Executive Director of the Irish Council for Civil Liberties, and Michael McDowell, Senator and former Taoiseach Minister for Justice, both join me on the line now to debate. Liam, I'm going to start with you because you're not in favour of its renewal. Why so?
Well, Ciara, since 1976, we have been raising issues about the fact that the Special Criminal Court essentially takes away the constitutional right to trial by jury, and it does it on an arbitrary basis. There's an absolute discretion of the DPP to decide who gets a trial by jury and who doesn't. And also that a number of problematic practices have developed in the court over the years in terms of the way they treat evidence, that people can be convicted purely on the opinion of a senior guard, that there's complicated rules about privilege, where very often the guards will not disclose the source of their information. There's inferences being drawn from people's silence. So we've always opposed it, and I think it's quite bizarre how this has become a political question again. The Minister for Justice set up an independent review group to see if the court was the only way to continue to deal with the problem of jury intimidation and witness intimidation, which are serious problems. That was due to report a year ago, and yet we're now here again, and they're asking us to renew the court again. This is 25 years after the end of the conflict in Northern Ireland. The court is in place now for over 50 years, and the government is asking us seriously to believe that the only way to deal with the problem of jury intimidation or witness intimidation is to use a wartime court created in 1972 under legislation from 1939, where every other common law jurisdiction has found other ways of dealing with these problems. And basically what the Minister is saying is that this is the only show in town. For 25 years, we've not come forward with any alternative or better ways of dealing with this problem. And I think it really is an indictment of every government since the end of the conflict that they haven't come up with better solutions.
And Michael McDowell, is there an alternative for dealing with these gangland offences, do you feel?
Well, first of all, can I say that I agree with Liam that the ideal is jury trial, and that's a constitutional norm. But it isn't, I just want to put this on the record, it's not an unconstitutional exception. The Constitution itself provides for special criminal courts where the ordinary courts are inadequate to secure the administration of justice. So it's a constitutional method of protecting the general rule of trial by jury. Now, that's the first thing about it. The second thing is, if you look at a group like the Kinahan gang, who have billions of euros at their disposal, who are moving around the world, who are being targeted by the FBI and all the rest of it now, and today's newspapers say they've moved from the Gulf into Iran. That group of people, if the trial recently in respect of Hutch had been on the other side of that feud, I have no doubt that they would use every method whatsoever to subvert a jury and to intimidate a jury. And you see, the point is that you look at the plight of a juror. If you were a juror being sworn in to deal with, say, a Kinahan gang murder accusation, you have to ask yourself, how do I feel about this? How do I feel like spending 6 weeks or 8 weeks sequestered and under guard of protection, with threats perhaps being made to members of my family? How would I feel about that? And, we have to be very, very clear. Yes, Liam is correct. It was primarily brought in to deal with terrorist cases. There are terror organisations still operating in the state and in Northern Ireland, the new IRA, etc. But it is certainly the case that if we were to simply say that 12 men and women were exposed the way Irish jurors are, they go home in the evening on the bus or whatever it is to their house, in circumstances where the Kinahan gangs continued existence was the issue. The idea that they would be free from intimidation is naive.
Yeah, so Liam, in those instances where there is a fear that there could be an intimidation of a jury or interference with a jury, what is the alternative? What can you do to protect them? What does the ICCL suggest would work?
So in our submission to the Independent Review Group, we've set out a number of options. I mean, the bottom line is the problems that Michael is talking about exist in every jurisdiction. So organised crime trials happen in the United States, in Britain, in New Zealand, Australia and Canada, all of which keep the right to jury trial for serious crime. And
how do they protect those juries? That's what I'm asking.
So there's a number of different measures. And in fact, we have legislation in Ireland since 1929 under the Juries Act, which allows for measures to be taken for special juries. So you could have secret juries that their identity is not disclosed. You could have impaneling of jurors, which is done in secret. You can have ways of protecting juries or special juries. So there are a number of options out there. You could, for example, change the rules about majority verdicts as well. So there are measures in place in other jurisdictions which have developed over the years. And when we talk about the threat posed by serious organised crime groups to jurors, I mean, the United States has managed to try with juries some of the most dangerous organised crime figures in the world.
All right.
For example, some of the Mexican cartels. So other systems have been developed over the years. We're still stuck with an absolute no jury trial or a jury trial. We have nothing in between.
So, Michael McDowell, other jurisdictions have managed it. They have found a way to protect juries but still have a jury trial in these, very, very difficult and potentially dangerous cases.
Yeah, well, that's true. And I mean, I'm listening carefully to what Liam is suggesting. Yes, you could have special juries. Yes, you could have. You could reform the Special Criminal Court, for instance, to have a jury which was separate from the presiding judge, so that questions of admissibility of statements and the like weren't decided by the same people who, in the end of the case, have to decide guilt or not, or no guilt. I'm not against reform of the Special Criminal Court, but I would need to be very, very persuasively argued to suggest that, for instance, that the Kinahans could be put on trial in Ireland under the jury system as we have it. And if we're going to have secret juries, special juries, juries composed, say, of lawyers or, if you go back to the Offence Against the State Act, originally the members of the court could have been army officers, which just shows you the kind of thoughts that existed in the 1930s. You can have selected groups of people to act as jurors. And I'm not against that, but I mean, and I do await the outcome of the decision of the report that Liam mentions. But I'm just saying that you can't just simply throw open the doors and say everybody gets a jury trial, no matter what the threat to jurors at the moment. That would undermine the rule of law. And
right.
The point I would make to Liam as well is this: that people like him and me who actually do believe very, very strongly in jury trial. I don't want to discredit it. I don't want people walking away from courts with acquittals when everybody's saying, how did that happen? And the suspicion being it was done by intimidation and manipulation.
All right, look, we're going to have to leave it there now. Liam Herrick and Michael McDowell, thank you for speaking to us. I think it's a debate that's going to go on and on, but what do you think? Is there still a place for the Special Criminal Court as it stands, as it's currently formed in this country? Do let us know.
News Talk Breakfast.
In association with Air Mobile. Experience super fast 5G speeds on all our mobile plans.
Samsung. Appliances you can rely on. For peace of mind, choose from Samsung's 5-year warranty range of laundry and refrigeration home appliances. For more information, go to powercity.ie. Terms and conditions apply. M. Conlon & Sons Naas and Limerick invite you to the BMW approved used spring sales event from April 14th to 30th. Hundreds of approved used BMWs to choose from with massive price drops across our range and special low finance rates during this sales event. Every BMW approved used vehicle comes with a 2-year unlimited mileage warranty and 2-year emergency service cover. Check out conlons.ie to view our stock or call in from the 14th to the 30th of April for a test drive. Conlons, the home of BMW in Limerick and Kildare.
You're at the counter in your local shop. Birthday card in one hand, a pack of those teeny tiny candles in the other. Now for a present, only to look up and see the display of scratch cards. Talk about the best present ever if they win big. Birthday or no birthday, with millions in cash prizes to be won instantly, next time you're in store, ask for any all-cash scratch card. The National Lottery. It could be them. Gift responsibly.
Share, stream, download and connect more with Ireland's best value 5G prepay offer on Air Mobile. For just €20 top-up, you can get no limits data, unlimited calls, unlimited texts and 5G at no extra cost, meaning you can connect faster, stronger and better than before. Now that's a no-brainer. To switch to Air Mobile, go in store or visit air.ie. Subject to €20 top-up every 28 days. Fair usage applies. For full terms, see air.ie.
Herbst Software have 40 years of IT know-how empowering B2B companies, reducing admin whilst boosting live managerial possibilities.